As a scientist, I can tell you that Sundays are only 24 hours long. But with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get every game every Sunday all in one place. That's upwards of 30 hours of NFL in one day. How can there be 30 hours in 24 hours, you ask? I have a theory. Magic. New users get NFL Sunday Ticket for 8 payments of $34.50 per month. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games and commercial use. Terms and embargoes apply. Availability varies.
Brace the rudder! Brace the sails! Brace the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Good job with the shot, and the Slough Jets have taken the lead on the power play. With the shot cross goal. No need for the save from Lorde. And Campbell finds himself in, and it's 3-1 to the Cheltenham Chieftains. Good job with the shot, and the Slough Jets have taken the lead on the power play. With the shot cross goal. No need for the save from Lorde. And Campbell finds himself in, and it's 3-1 to the Cheltenham Chieftains.
Hello and welcome to Zero Pucks Given, the UK Ice Hockey Podcast. We're in partnership with the Hockey Art Co, hockey clothing for hockey people, worn by the best and hated by the rest. Listeners to Zero Pucks Given get a 10% discount off of everything site-wide from hockeyartclothing.co.uk. Just use the code ZP10 upon checkout. We're also in partnership with Bob. Welcome to Bob, the man's reusable, refillable and subscriptionable shower utensil. It's the most innovative invention in male showering in quite some time. We're still awaiting a few details from them, so jump onto their Welcome to Bob social media to see what that is all about. And, of course, we're still part of the Sports Social Podcast Network, the largest sport podcast network in Europe, boasting over 500 podcasts from more than 20 different sports, and we're delighted that ZPG is a part of it. So working our way through the Britain division now, we've got ourselves into the sort of East London, Essex borders. We're not going to really put a finger on that because I know that it pisses people off either way. And we're going to go with the Romford Buccaneers.
Romford Buccaneers.
And talking Romford Buccaneers to us this evening is a man who's part of the social media team for the Romford Raiders. He does the brilliant stream for the Romford Buccaneers, and he's also the host of GB Puck Drop podcast as well. Brody Martin, how you doing, fella? You all right?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me.
Very welcome, mate.
Yes, it's looking like an interesting off-season so far. So, being able to talk to you on here is a great opportunity. Thank you very much.
Well, welcome, mate. And for those joining us on YouTube, if it looks a little bit wobbly, Brody is actually at the Sapphire as we speak.
Yeah, I am. I'm waiting to go inside when the music turns down. I'm looking. It's got a few imports warming up upstairs, but it should be all right.
Excellent. Waiting for the Raiders stuff. Well, it's all changed for the Bucks this year because obviously Jason Buckman has made the step up to the Raiders. You guys did a great interview on GB Puck Drop with with Bates just after he took the Bucks after he took the job there, and I think that a lot of people were surprised when Ethan James stepped away from the Raiders. They thought he may have actually ended up at Chelmsford as a playing goalie.
Yeah,
but he actually ended up as the coach of the Buccaneers, and that's an interesting step.
Yeah, there was a few rumbles of kind of where he would go. I know people always said maybe Basingstoke would look, because obviously they've just regenerated their team. They're kind of looking to get those big players in, and Ethan would be one of them. But then the news of him being coach, players sometimes want to take a step in the other direction. They want to challenge themselves a bit. Leish obviously had to step up last season to coach a bit more for the Raiders after injury. So yeah, I think this should be an interesting one. Hopefully he can perform well for the boys, and hopefully he can get the boys going in the right direction.
Yeah, well, after Bucky was announced as Raiders head coach, there was a bit of a lull in Buccaneers announcements. And I think a few people were starting to think, are we going to see a second team from Romford this year? But obviously since Ethan came in and backed up by Scotty Davis as well, another man that Chelmsford fans will be very familiar with. I mean, a couple of questions. To start with, does having two goalies as your main coach perhaps make you not the most attacking team? And two, I think Ethan's contact book has meant that he's put together a very competitive roster.
I think having two goalies in that position, I don't think it changes anything. As long as he can get the tactics right, as long as he can, he's been around hockey players his whole life. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of been drilled into him. So being in that position is kind of, it doesn't matter either way. I think it's just hopefully he can prove himself as a coach, and if he proves himself as a coach, maybe that could lead to bigger things for him as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Because on the flip side of that, of having two goalies, it could be that they know exactly what they don't like attackers doing when they're goal, so they can kind of put that into their attacking team.
Yeah, and then on your other question, you're going to have to remind me what it was. Sorry, I've completely forgotten.
Ethan's contact book. I think
Ethan's contact book, yeah.
Flicking straight away, wouldn't he?
Yeah, kind of similar to like the other answer I gave. It was kind of like, hopefully he can get the boys going in the right direction. Obviously, with that contact book and being in that kind of position, it's huge. I mean, the contact book is longer than my arm. I mean, it's huge, full of hockey names, and because he's been all around England. I mean, he knows people. He knows people from training camps. He does like King's Elite here all the time, so he knows people from there. He knows where to look. So and he has created a team that shows he knows where to look. So yeah, it's looking up for them this season, hopefully.
Yeah, and obviously starting in the pipes with the roster, same two lads that were in there last year, who were both fantastic every single time they played, and what a breakout year it was for Max Van Mullen. Oh yeah,
100%. I already could tell it was going to be quite a decent season for him when he came, moved up to Raiders for his for the pre-season games.
Yeah, he did 16 years, wasn't he?
Yeah, and was able to try to get man of the match in one of those games because he just performed so well, especially against Invicta in the away game. It was brilliant, and it was helpful to play him against Invicta as well because, I think he came on Invicta, so I'm not quite, memory's gone a bit, but I think he came on in Invicta, or he definitely played against Invicta at some point. It was helpful for him to do that because obviously that was going to be one of his opponents next season. And obviously, who else helping him? He had Sonny Phillips helping him. I think he was a great mentor, lots of experience. Used to be in your neck of the woods as well. Used to be in Chelmsford. We both kind of know how good of a goalie he is, but also how good of a person he is as well. I mean, friendly to talk to. You can get a lot of good advice from him, and I think Max definitely took that on board. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a terrific role model to have for Max there. And the two of them there, you can kind of see actually that in the way that Max has progressed over the years, that he's got that little bit of Sonny in him that means he can win a game on his own. He can play that well. That he can
Yeah.
Which is great to see. And there's a couple of more returning names that a lot have been really glad to see return. Obviously, Donald Campbell's massively popular. Billy Coe had a great year last year, stepping up to the Bucks for the first time. and Migas Canis. So your D-core is going quite strong. And a new addition as well, another former Chelmsford player in Richie Pickering. And I was saying in the Chelmsford build-up, I was obviously not glad to see Richie leave Chelmsford because he's a terrific lad, good player, gets stuck in. But I think this is a really, really good move for him because I think he will probably be top 2, maybe top 4 D-man at Romford and get a lot of ice time.
Yeah. One thing that is obviously one heck of an important thing is not only you're just attacked and being able to score goals at one end, it's about being able to defend the other one at the other end. Do you know what I mean? And you're just going to want a goalie for that. You're going to need the best D pairing that you can in front. And I think Bucks have definitely got that this season. Listen, I think having a few returning names and then putting them with new names is also good, especially for Billy Coe as well, because at such a young age, he's then able to learn off of those new people. And I think, just being able to, put those two together and being able to, obviously I don't know what the lines are going to be like yet. No one knows what they're going to be like. You probably get a rough idea when you're watching training sessions what they're kind of looking for, but I think definitely having just new names around returning names is the best idea.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a good blend, as you say, of existing and new additions. And players that have played together before, I do remember Richie Pickering and Migas Canis playing on a defensive line together for Chelmsford. Yeah,
Migas is, there was a reason he got called up to Raiders a little bit last season. It's because he's a good defenseman at the end of the day. He knows what he's doing. He can help others around him as well. So I think it's definitely good to have him back as well.
And of course, you're the only team in the Britain division that hosts an international in your lineup as well. In Ellie Wakelin and Abby Sylvester, both in the D-core this year.
Yeah, I think them two are also incredible. Being able to have that kind of diversity as well. Obviously, women in sport is becoming a huge thing, and it always has been the growing thing. And I think these two, for people and especially girls around the area, is very inspiring, and it can show that they can do it as well.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a great thing to have them both back again this season as well.
Yeah, we discussed with Henry Stalins a couple of episodes ago, obviously the gender policy that came out last year. There was a little bit of controversy about it. But one thing that isn't going to change is that the girls that want to come in and play with the men because they're good enough to do so can continue to do so. And I think that makes great strides for the growth of the women's game.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Then looking into your forward lineup, there were some players that you absolutely had to keep. One of which, obviously, people would say Buccaneers, it's the young Romford team. But at 43 years old, Jure Hushka, what a year he had last
year. Yeah, coming back after suspension, and he did prove himself 100%. It seemed like every game he was at least putting one in the net.
I saw him in pre-season. He played for the Chelmsford Legends against the Chelmsford City in like a pre-season challenge game. Yeah. I've said in the Chelmsford preview episode as well, we all sat there and we were like, he looks so sharp. So
yeah, and even for the age, even for, I'm not saying age, it's like, it can affect anything, but I think definitely at that age, it's a big thing being able to still play hockey like this. Yeah. Shows that his career is still well and truly going. So hopefully we can have him around for a bit longer as well, not just the next season, but I think having him around for a bit longer would be beneficial for our team.
Yeah, and a couple of other new ones. Cole McCluskey's come in from a little spell at Chelmsford last year after being with MK Thunder, and Sam Robinson has returned as well. He was at the Raiders Junior under Mike Robinson before they changed to the Bucks.
Yeah.
So that's a really good little signing actually, because Sam's fit as a fiddle and works his socks off.
Yeah. Right. Good. I'm good. Just on a podcast right now, mate. Done. You've got Eric Van Mullen, everyone. There you go.
Oh,
yeah.
Other people
returning from junior systems and kind of returning back to Romford. It's always a big thing. You see it a lot of times as well. You can use Adam Lasham as an example for the Raiders. Played a little bit for us. A couple of seasons before, and then when he came back, he was just on fire the entire time. So yeah, I think Romford is definitely a big place to have returning players, and we kind of do use them and push them to make the whole squad and the depth of the squad better as well.
Yeah, And obviously you do really utilise that two-way with the Raiders as well to get these guys that experience of playing in the National League, which they can then bring back to the team.
Yeah, the two ways are just they seem to be the heart and soul of our team, definitely 100%, of both Raiders teams, both Romford teams, sorry. I think just being able to have that connection as well, being able to make junior players have that opportunity at the higher levels, that could then lead on to big things. Take another example we'll do is Brody Caps. Played for the Buccaneers, got his chance at Raiders, proved himself, and now he then got signed to Coventry the year after, do you know what I mean? And he's now off to play in America, he's off to play at bigger levels and on the big stages. So, yeah, it shows that progression is definitely needed in hockey teams. Yeah, and I think Romford utilises that brilliantly.
Absolutely. Is it the Silverbacks off the top of my head that Bryn?
I think it is, yes. As far as I know, it is.
Out in America, so yeah. Stuff for Bryn. And I mean, looking at the Bucks fixtures, obviously we've had a little bit of a shake-up in the league. We're expecting this 10-team league, possibly even expecting Peterborough Phantoms to make the move up from their NHL 2. None of that kind of happened. MK Thunder took a step back, and quite rightly so. But Oxford, of course, also have fallen by the wayside before we started. So slightly less fixtures than we would have looked at. Romford did start the month really quietly, actually. Just the one game in September at home to the Dynamos before they go on the road for a few games in October with a couple of homers as well. But notably playing Solent and Slough twice in October. So very busy October for the Bucks. Yeah.
There's always pros and cons to having a quieter start to the season. Maybe focus on training is another thing as well. You could obviously have a lot of focus in training. But then also, you have to understand that you have a game against Invicta. And even though it's just one game in that whole month, it's arguably one of the toughest games that you're going to face all season. There's a game against Invicta, it's a game against any of them, like Chelmsford or Slough or anyone like that, the big names. They're going to be tough opponents. So you just got to make sure you keep your focus in that situation, and don't overcompensate for only there being one game, because one game could either start your season off greatly or start your season off badly.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think Ethan and Scott might well be looking at the league and saying, look, you know what, we'll take what we can get from Slough, Streatham and Chelmsford, but Invicta, Solent, Swindon, we need to be taking points off of those to keep ourselves in the upper echelons of
and I think every team in every league in the world has to do that. The smaller teams, you class them as small teams, you class them as teams that you don't think are a threat, but then they could come out and beat you, and then you think, oh, right, I wonder why that is, and that's because you may have thought they were worse than they actually were. Do you know what I mean? And you need to be careful of the small teams just as much as the big teams, because it can always shock a team 100%.
Absolutely. I mean, looking back at last season, I think pretty much every single time that Chelmsford and Romford played, which was 4 times in the league and then twice in the playoffs, there was only one game where the game was separated by more than one goal.
Yeah.
They could have gone to play.
Yeah. So, I think you just need to be careful in this league. Any level, you need to be careful, but especially with this level, because it is kind of the next step into the big leagues, and you just need to be careful with that stuff,
Yeah. Because Romford have always been that team that you could say, obviously, we've got your Slough, Streatham and Chelmsford that normally fight out for the title, then Solent and Invicta are normally fighting out for that 4th and 5th position. Yeah. Play each other in the playoffs virtually every time. The Buccaneers were really close last year for jumping to 5th from 6th.
Yeah.
Do you think the challenge is going to be even harder this year with the fact that the Swindon Wildcats have improved? Cardiff are going to want to do better than they did last year as well. Has it made the challenge even harder with less teams in the league?
Yeah, no, I think it has. Obviously, having less teams in the league is going to want the teams now to improve the most and put on a show for the fans as well. So that's one of the reasons these players play hockey is to play for the fans, to play to entertain, and they're going to definitely want to do that. They're going to want to show that they want to prove themselves. So they've obviously improved a lot. So they need to, they need to be careful with those two teams as well. Yeah.
I mean, fans-wise, obviously, the Buccaneers being a second team in that rink, they do really well with trying to get the Raiders fans involved, don't they? If the Raiders
we do push quite a bit. I'm helping with social media for the supporters club this year, and one of our things is going to hopefully try and be to get as many fans in those Bucks games as possible. We're trying to get as many fans in for any level, but Bucks obviously being the second team, you're going to want to push that just as much as you are for Raiders.
Yeah.
Because they're looking to get promoted, and if we can help in any way, we will.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Raiders had a great year last year, made the Cup final, really exciting little run to that, and some massive crowds going in there. Obviously the stream that the guys put on for the Raiders game that I think you're part of as well is always really good to watch.
We always try and, especially for the away fans, and that's the reason we do the streams in the end of the day, because the streams are better for the away fans than they are the home fans. You want to expect the home fans to be in the rink. Do you know what I mean? Even though they might not all be able to, you want them in the rink, and then you want the away fans to be able to watch that stream and get just about the same experience as those fans in the seats. We do try and push as much as possible to give that to the away fans, because they need it just as much as our home fans do, because it could be a huge game for them as well. So you just need to be mindful when you're planning things like that, just to make sure to help the away fans just as much as the home fans.
Yeah, because not everyone can travel. Obviously, especially in the National League, the travelling can be quite extensive as well. So if you can't imagine too many people making a trip from Solway down to Romford. So the fact
we didn't. We don't usually have a lot. We have had, on the odd occasion, we've had a few that have come down from Scotland, and we really do appreciate them travelling. And we never really do take the mick out of them. We never really do take the mick out of this team when they've travelled that far, even though we end up doing it in the end because we're Romford fans. But it's like, do you know what I mean? We need to, we still try our best to praise them. I know Paul Ludlow, our DJ, does give a shout out. He always speaks to the away fans. Do you know what I mean? For some reason, he can speak to the away fans from one side of the ring to the other and understand what they're saying. I don't know how he does it, but he's got some special powers that he can do to do that. But I think obviously you're never going to see as many away fans for games like Solway in games like maybe Telford or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Because they're quite, just depends on the travel. And I know this season in the NIHL. Basingstoke and Solway, I think, are now the furthest 2 points away from each other. So that's obviously going to be interesting to see travelling-wise for either of them. But then I'm not quite sure what the furthest is in our Bucks League. You'll have to tell me that one, I think.
I think it's probably to Cardiff is the longest one.
Yeah. So usually for the NIHL, it's going from the bottom to the top of the country, from Chelmsford to Cardiff, going right to left. So it's, but you just got to try and I do encourage as many fans as possible to, even if you have one weekend where you just want to go and watch your team and you want to go and watch an away game, go and support your team. That's the most important thing you can do. That's the reason we're all sat today. That's the reason you're probably doing this podcast is, to get fans involved, to get people interested in the sport. And if you can do that as much as possible and get those fans happy and excited to see their team, then I think it's a job well done at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the Sapphire is one of the finest rinks in the country to visit, actually. It's a lovely little arena. There's a great little atmosphere that cooks in there. There's great parking right across the street. It's a really venue. Yeah.
It's just a shame it's on the third floor.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
I've got a pick.
And third, technically. I'm on the third now, but we've got second. I can just about see the second down there. But yeah.
Yeah, get that commentary gantry. I'm puffed by the time I get up there.
Yeah, well, I remember coming to see you at the first, I think it's the first game, first day I actually met you, coming up and we were walking up these stairs. You were puffing by the end of it, weren't you? You were like, so was I, to be fair. You can't blame me. I've been coming here for however long and I still get knackered up those stairs. Take a lift these days. But
I've been hitting the gym over the summer, actually, so I'm hoping... If you
you'll be getting up here. You'll be getting up here quicker than me.
Yeah, if you guys are doing the stream this year, which we said previously just before we came to air, that hopefully you will be putting it on.
We will.
Every game, if not, especially the important ones.
We will. Yeah.
I'd love to come along. I think November is the first time the Chiefs make their visit to the Sapphire.
Yeah, we can get something plan for November, 100%. We always, for the Bucks streams, we always need as much help as we can get. So it's helpful to always have a code on. Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to be a part of it as well, because you do cracking stuff. What you got planned for GB Puck Drop this year then? Because you guys, when you is it Harry that you do it with?
Yeah.
You came about last year a little bit, dropped a couple of episodes, got some nice high chart appearances as well.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of almost doing an unofficial Raiders podcast. Is that right?
No, some people think we are. I've had many different queries because the supporters club put a video. We have to put a video up for the supporters club introducing ourselves, and we decided to do it as GB Puck Drop because GB Puck Drop are helping very much with the supporters club this season. But we're keeping on with GB Puck Drop. We were planning on doing a few things, trying to travel to a few places and possibly get episodes out. We still need to talk and do things like that. We need to look at, obviously, we've got a website that we use as well, so we're trying to look at upgrades for that. We're just trying to plan. The main thing we usually plan is guests. So we had Daniel Amesbury on last season. That was brilliant. And then the week after that, we end up having a main Black Bears kit man on, Kevin Ritz. So, I mean, having those episodes out over the other side of the pond was definitely helped us. It definitely boosted our confidence when it came to talking to people. Because we thought if we could talk to people from America, which arguably America and Canada are the best places for hockey in the world. So having the confidence to speak to them also gave us the confidence to speak to people back home. And we're going to try and get a few more things out. Lots more Raiders players, hopefully. A few Bucks players. And we'll try and get a few more. We'll try and go around the leagues, try and get a few players. First episode of season 3 came out of the chairman of the supporters club, Ed Brad, who's actually downstairs right now as we speak. We interviewed him and we decided we never really said we were going to stop season 2. I remember saying to Harry when uploading it, we were like, let's start season 3. Let's make this one the first one and we'll start cracking on from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just need to keep pumping out episodes. We've got a lot more time on our hands now as well, which is helpful for both of us. So hopefully we can get a lot more content out.
Yeah, and anyone who does create any sort of hockey content knows that time is of the essence, really. And
yeah.
Trust me, as an old man of my age, spare time is really, really quite limited.
Yeah, no, it's just trying to balance watching the games. Obviously, I'll do streams. It helps stream the games. Record episodes during the week, get them edited, get them out. I don't do the editing. I will happily hold my hands up and say I don't do the editing. That's Harry. Harry is the main man behind getting these episodes out. Sometimes I just turn up and talk and then go back to bed. But I mean, sometimes it's just, we have to balance it out as well. Sometimes we're going to try and help each other out as much as possible, and hopefully we can get a few cool guests on the next season. That's the most important bit for us.
Yeah, wicked, mate. Well, wish you all the best for moving forward with the season with GB Puck Drop, the work that you do with the Raiders, the work you do with the Bucks as well. I will absolutely be coming to see you in November when the Chiefs make their way to the Sapphire, and we'll have a little collab on your live stream, which I'm always a pleasure.
100%.
Brody, thank you so much for your time, mate.
Thank you very much.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.